Week 2 of January and of the year is now behind us. It's time to check in and see how we did. Hello, and welcome to my channel on budget planning, debt payoff, and life in general. My name is Erin, and my husband and I are on a debt-free journey to pay $43,000 of consumer debt in 1 year, using the Budget Moms Budgeting by Paycheck system. Today is our check-in for the second week of January, which is also the second week of the year. And not going to lie, this week I struggled and I got frustrated and I got flippant and I got a bit stubborn. And spoiler alert, I blew the budget a bit. But we did still pay extra to our debt, and we have a plan to stay on track for the rest of the month and the rest of the year. As always, chapters are in the progress bar and timestamps are in the description. And with that, let's get started. So for our second paycheck in January, not as much that was coming out as compared to week 1. So we do get paid both fortnightly and weekly. When we look at our spending for the week, and I almost didn't even want to do this. I was actually thinking, okay, what are some ways that maybe I can modify the numbers so that it doesn't look so bad? But rip the Band-Aid off. Personal accountability, transparency. Here we go. So very bright and colorful, but we can see the two big areas that really stand out. Gosh, this is terrible. Is in groceries. Yeah, groceries really stands out. For our expenses, we didn't have that many, just 1, 2, 3. So the pool was coming out, insurance was coming out, and our internet and cable, that was it. Our debts that we usually have, so our weekly loan payment, I put in our extra payments to our credit card, and then our mortgage, and a few other things in between. We did go into a 3-day, a 72-hour hard lockdown, and I was actually on my way to the shop for our weekly shop, and normally I will go to 3 different stores. By the time, when I got to the shop, it wasn't that busy. By the time I got to checkout, the lines were ridiculous. There were no trolleys left, nothing. And I saw that it was picking up, and I just went, there is no way I am running around to multiple stores today. So I'm just going to buy everything here. And that ended up with a much higher than usual weekly shop. It came out to $230, which also validated to me why I go to multiple stores, because that's probably about $50 over than what it should be. However, that doesn't change some of this extra grocery spending up here and then also in the rest of the month as well. And what I am learning is my son and my husband like prepared food. So I do the grocery shop on Monday. I usually do all of the prep work for my meals, set everything aside. My son will not go into the refrigerator and grab a carrot. But if there are carrots and they are cut up for a meal later during the week, that is his 3 a.m. snack. My husband decided that he wanted some bacon, so he ate all of it and left 1 piece. Normally would not be a problem, because for a lot of people, they just go, okay, I will just swap out 1 meal for the next. I do not have that option. I am on, because of my illness, I am on a very specific nutritional plan. Every single meal is planned out, every day is planned out, and it ties in to the week. So it's not enough. I cannot just say, okay, you ate the ingredients for this meal and I just found out 1 hour before I'm starting to cook, so I'm just going to swap and put in what we were going to have tomorrow night, because based on what I had for breakfast, my 2 snacks before, and my lunch, if I swap something else in, that stuffs up my macros completely. Now, if I were to find the day before or the morning because my breakfast stays pretty stable, and my first morning snack and my breakfast, they stay pretty stable, then I would be able to make some adjustments. But if I find out in the middle of the day, I cannot. And so that's why I run out to get an additional item to replace what has been munched on by the secret rabbits in my house. And that's where I start picking up extra items. So I'm coming up with a plan for that. Otherwise, all of the other categories really looked good. But for groceries, if we come down to what our total is, $635 in food and drink for the week, which is nearly double what the budget was. I just don't want that happening, and I want to get that under control. And that's why I didn't lie about what the numbers were, and I just went ahead and showed them. You'll see numbers over here on the side. This is because I do a roundup challenge, and that was extra money that I sent over to savings. So I actually had $28.74 that I transferred to savings. So I was able to make that modification. It's just really sticking with that grocery budget, staying home. But everything else, health, staying about where I thought it would be. So about probably the only thing that was unexpected or unplanned on here was picking up masks. But to be honest, I probably should have had them anyways. The other thing that I did wrong that was a mistake is I did not track my spending day by day. I waited until the end of the week and I had my receipts stacked up, and that's when I started filling everything in, and that's when I started going, oh bloody heck, what have you done? And so I need to work on getting better at every day. Put it in, put it down, get it highlighted. So that was our spending. Everything now from our first two paychecks has now been spent. So these two paychecks completely closed out, including what our extra payments were. We once again didn't have that private health payment, premium payment. We won't start that up until the end of February, but I still have it in there. So that ended up being an extra payment to the credit card as well. So we had planned $265 and we actually paid $80 for a total of $345. And I'll show you how we're going in that tracker in a second. Sinking funds, no contributions to sinking funds this week. So straightforward, simple, nothing to see here. Everything just carried over. $5,059 sitting in our sinking fund accounts. Our cash and digital envelopes, however, that's a different story. So again, we ended with 15. One of those was a 5. That came out for my $5 challenge. So I started with $10 for groceries, added $350, spent $635. So we are in the negative of negative $275 for that. Said health. This is the only one really keeping an eye on, because all the rest of these are going to, the dogs to fuel and transport, those are going to top up in week 3. Ugh, just looking at it, sorry. I shouldn't laugh because it's not funny, but health is going to need a top up. And what I've been wondering here is, what do I do? And I appreciate any comments any of you might have. What do I do when I go over budget like this? Do I just take it from some of my other accounts? Right now we're in the positive. I was also thinking that I could pull that money from the extra debt payment that we are going to make. Now, I have been making those extra debt payments right away. We get paid on Wednesday. I've been making the extra debt payments on the Thursday. That way I get the money out and I don't spend it. But this has me thinking that I will wait until the Tuesday. That way, if I do something like this where I blow the budget, then instead of making that $345 debt payment, I would do a lesser payment, so $345 minus what I went over, so $275. So I would have only made a $70 payment, and that would balance us out, bring it back to zero. I'm going to trial this in week 3, and then anything that is left over come Tuesday, that's my transfer Tuesday. If you have any thoughts on that, let me know in the comments. For the not overspending, I have my list. I stick to my list for the most part. It's just when I have to go and get those individual ingredients, boom, there it goes. That's a behavioral issue, and obviously I have to retrain my rabbits. So that is the last part, and that is our extra to our credit card. I love trackers. Isn't it interesting how as we get older and as we do these things, we like to revert back to things that made us really happy as children. So this is from Debt Free Charts. And so this week is just $345. Each of these boxes is $128. And it's so annoying when this happens. It's not quite 3 full boxes, but I want to fill it in anyways. So just a smidge left. So we made our contractual payment of $273. Our first extra payment was $1925. Then another $140. And then this week $345. So we have paid $2,683 to our credit card thus far. And then divide that by what our starting point is. So 12216. Technically I should use the one that is amortized, but oh well. And so we have paid 22% of our debt thus far, and just 2 weeks into the year. So very much on track to get this credit card taken care of and paid off this year by May. If things continue going well, if we have any changes to our income, that might even bump up a little bit. We might get it done by April. And I am going to be tracking my lessons learned. So I have 2 big lessons learned this week. Well, actually 3. Number 1, I will purchase unnecessary things if I have to go to the shops. Full stop. I just do. Number 2, I need to retrain my rabbits. My meal plan, my nutrition, that's not a negotiable. That is unnegotiable. And number 3, I need to track daily, which is one of my goals for 2021 in general. I just need to be more conscious of it and practicing it on the day-to-day. So that is the week that was. That is where we are thus far. Next week starts a whole new week. Well, technically it's started already. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like. And if you are enjoying or intrigued by our journey, mistakes and all, hit that subscribe button. I would love to have you join us. As always, choose kindness, show gratitude, and keep a positive mindset. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.